Guys, and welcome back to our RPG inventory series, and in this part we're gonna be carrying on working on our UI. In the last video we did this part here where you walk inside the item and then you have that little object coming back, which is our log. Right, so in this video we're gonna be just doing some more refinement in that, and then actually we're gonna start to add that inventory to the items to our inventory and displaying that so we can carry on working other things. Right, so the first thing I want to do here, guys, I just want to do a cool little animation. What I want to do, let me just press play here again. I just want to, when the player get the item, I just want to make this thing fade away. So to do that, we're gonna go here where it's dash main UI RPG inventory log, right? We gonna go ahead in here where is say the designer. The designer, and we're gonna go where is the animation. I'm gonna open up that animation. I'm gonna press new animation and I'm gonna say fade out, right? And what I'm gonna do on the fade out, all I did, just going, we're doing a recap, select the box, animation, create a new animation, type fade out. If you need to rename this, just press F2 or just, rename that. Then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a new track. And what I want to do is the horizontal box, right? So with the horizontal box, what we can actually do here is if you press track, we can do a couple of things in there. And what I want to do here is to play with the render opacity, right? So we're just going to add here, add a track and add the render opacity. Right, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to display this for 10, let's say 6 seconds. Yeah, 6 seconds is good. Let's compile and save. Just going to go here to the graph. Make sure our delay here is 6 as well, right? There we go. And what I'm going to do here, open up the animation again, select the animation, and pretty much I'm going to add a new key there. So the way you add a key, you just press enter. So I'm just going to put 1 here, and then you press this little button there, which is to add the key, right? And then what I'm going to do here, up to like 3 seconds, is going to be displaying on the screen. And then around 6 seconds, we're gonna add another key, but this time it's gonna be 0. So it's gonna be we're just gonna add the key as 0. So if you press, if you look at it, you press play, it's displaying, and then after 3 seconds, it starts to fade away. Right. So I'm just gonna press compile and save. The way we actually play this animation now is very simple. You just go to the graph, right? Go to the event construct. All we're gonna do here is where is the animation, just gonna drag and drop that. The animation is the reference of the animation we're creating here, just in case you guys don't know. And then what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna call a node called play animation. There we go. And it's simple as that. So we're just gonna hook this up, and there we go. Just gonna press play. Let's see what's gonna happen. So my character, I walk here and give a couple of seconds, and that should start fade away. There you go. Nice. So we kind of have like a almost I know in World of Warcraft those items, they stay on the box, but I think if you're trying to do like a let's say the Witcher style or something like this, so the items, they eventually fade off, they're not going to stay there forever. For me, I think it's always nice as well to work with this clean UI where things start to disappear, so you don't have your screen all polluted, but you can change this behavior eventually as well. And that's it, guys. So I'm just gonna make sure that this I'm gonna rename, just comment and say start the fade animation, right? And we have created a very basic animation, right? So the next step we want to do now is we're gonna jump back to the component. So I'm just gonna go back here to dash main components, the BPC inventory, right? And what I'm gonna be doing here is I'm gonna actually start to work in the logic to add and remove items and things like this, right? So we know that we have a thing here called add item to inventory, right? And this is actually where we add the items to the inventory. So we interact with these items and they get added to the inventory, right? So I'm gonna call this, I'm just gonna rename this again. I know it's the third time renaming this, but add item to inventory, it makes sense to add something to the inventory. This is gonna be more like, let's say, player interact or player inventory action, because this inventory item, yeah, let's put item action, because this is more for things that the player is interacting with the item, but the item is not yet added to the inventory. And I'm gonna show you in a minute, because right now we're gonna create the method that add the item to the inventory, right? So let's play with this. What I'm gonna do here, right? I am gonna just comment this and say loop the temp inventory items and add to the inventory, right? Okay, cool. I'm gonna compile and save. At this point, we have the information of the item, which is nice, right? So we got the information of the item. And then in here, this is just only for log. Log. And here, remove the items from the interaction array and destroy the item actor from the word, right? You don't have to do this. It's just a nice way to keep this organized, right? So in here we actually have to add whatever is this item to our inventory, right? One thing I want to do here is I am gonna go back in here. Where is the dash main? I'm gonna go to variables, item here. I'm going to open up the item. What I'm going to create here, guys, is just, I'm going to add a new variable. I'm going to put this as first, and I'm just going to call this inventory index. Right? And the reason why I want to use this is an integer, yeah, by the way. The reason why I want to do this is because in a minute we're going to be starting dragging and dropping in the inventory. And since we kind of know the ID of the index of the inventory, we can just assign that new index to this, and this will automatically display in that row. But this is something we're going to be working more in the future, right? So right now we added that. That's nice. I'm gonna go ahead in here. I'm just gonna close my engine. Yeah, just doing it again. So we just go back here, open up the ST items, add the inventory index. Press save in that, of course. Don't worry about those. Just close the whole. Don't save anything here. And I'm just gonna go back here and open up my Unreal Engine again. Right. The only reason why I am doing this is because with Unreal Engine, if you reopen, if you keep working on those items, when you change the structure that has a data table reference, that could cause problems. So it's always nice to just reopen the engine so the engine auto-correct itself after. I'm not sure if it's a bug, but it's just something Unreal Engine has. Cool. Only working when you're working with structures. Yeah. So I'm gonna go back here to main components, right? Open up the inventory, and there we go, right? So the first thing I want to do here, right, is I want to create a new variable. And I want to tell how many slots do we have. So I'm gonna go in here and say inventory slots, right? This is gonna be an integer. By default would be 24. That's gonna compile and save. So it's gonna put here 24 by default. This eventually gonna probably create a configuration variable, but in the future you can have 1,000 if you want to. And that's it for now, guys. So we're not going to be adding the item yet. Let's create the UI first so we can visualize more or less how we're going to do this. Right, so the idea for the inventory is that I'm here, I'm press tab or I, doesn't matter what you choose, and then you open up the inventory. Right. Let's do the UI first. Let's work on the UI first. So I'm gonna go in here, and that's the inventory. And let's open up the inventory there. Let's work with our inventory system, right? So first of all, before we can start to do the drag and drop stuff and things like that, we're just gonna create a box and work on that box first. Let's do our design first, and then we can actually start to work on and refinements. Right, so we're gonna create in here a border, right? I'm gonna add a border, and that border will be my inventory. So I'm just gonna just put this border on the middle here, right? So I'm just gonna go to anchor, press the middle one, and yeah, so all I did, just create a border, add that border to the middle of the screen, and the alignment 0.5, 0.5 as well, right? Nice, so I have a border there. I'm just gonna call this inventory window or something like that. I'm just gonna call that it main inventory, right? Compile and save. Now let's go back here and check World of Warcraft inventory, for example, right? Let's just get some ideas from World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft has a very complex inventory, but his layout is quite simple. It's just, can you see that? Open view, where is it? Open image new tab, there you go. There you go. So that's our inventory. So it's just the title, X button. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing the search, but we can do that. And then we have just the slots in here, which looks like a grid by 4, right? So let's get to work then. So let's go back here. So we've got the main inventory. I'm not sure yet the size, so I'm going to start